Mario Bros. Wonder has badges and I want to talk about them. The way this ranking is going to work is based on 3 factors of the badges. 1, depending on how much I like them. 2, depending on how useful they are. And 3, how convenient they are for a casual playthrough. However, the main thing I'll be critiquing about these badges is how situational they are. And if you don't know what that means, how do you exist? It basically means how specific the badge is in certain situations, which is why, for example, you'll see floating high jump pretty high on the list, but you'll see spring feet extremely low on the list because of how situational a badge like that is. Got all that? Good, because within the 10 months of me doing nothing, I still have no idea how to make an intro. So let's just start off with there is nobody in this current timeline who will tell you that the invisibility badge isn't the worst one in the game. Like, come on, most of you saw this coming from a mile away. Or maybe you didn't. Because I'm invisible. I don't even know what else there is to say about this badge. It's just terrible and nobody likes it. Shut up, no you don't. Yep, just like I said, Spring Feet is going to be really low on the list because of how situational a badge it is. Basically what this badge does is that it forces you to jump every single time you make contact with the ground no matter what. And it is so annoying to use in a normal level. And since you're constantly jumping, it makes certain enemies an absolute chore to kill. And it's also just really annoying to use in the most basic of platforming challenges, so why would you ever want to use this badge? There aren't really any more ways I can stress how much I despise using this badge in normal levels, so I think I'll just move on to I'm gonna be dead serious. I don't like the grappling vine badge at all. Yeah, just like a lot of these low tier badges, it has that same problem of being way too situational in specific levels. And I know that people in the comments are going to disagree with me on this one in particular, but you have to understand, this game has 152 levels in it, with 69 of those being main story levels. And most of those aren't going to be vertical levels, in which I think that this badge excels at verticality. Also, this is just a personal nitpick, but I really don't like how the badge can't pick up items. It can't grab coins, it can't grab the Wonder Flower, and it can't grab the Wonder Seed. And that aggravates me because the Yoshis can grab 2 of the 3 items I just listed with their tongues. The only thing I really like about this badge is that you can use it to tether to the flagpole. Nothing much else to say. The sensor badge creates an aura around your character that vibrates more and more the closer you get to a secret, like a 10 flower coin. That's it. The rhythm jump badge as a concept actually doesn't sound that bad at all. Jump to the beat and you get a coin as a reward. And I would probably put this in mid tier, but okay, so get a load of this. You don't actually get your coin reward until your 4th jump, and if you jump in between the rhythm, then your counter restarts. And even with all those negatives, I still think that it would have been a solid badge, and I probably would have put it in mid tier, but I can't because of your reward. Coins. Since flower coins were added into the game, regular coins have basically become useless, and their only use is to get lives, but as you can see, I'm not gonna be needing those anytime soon. So yeah, cool concept, flawed execution. Also, the little voices going hey every time you're supposed to jump sound like little demon clowns. Disgusting. Auto Super Mushroom does exactly what it says in the box. If you die via an enemy, lava, or a pit, you'll respawn with an automatic mushroom. And this also works if you start off a level with no power-ups. It's nothing special, but it's just nice and convenient to have. Safety Bounce is another badge that does what it says on the box. If you fall into a pit, lava, or poison, it'll give you a safety bounce to regain your footing. I don't really know anyone who would want to use this badge aside from 6-year-olds who have 0 critical thinking skills, but this is an okay badge. It's nothing amazing, but it's nothing terrible either. Coin reward, just like rhythm jump, is a cool concept but a terrible execution. Every time you kill an enemy you get 3 coins, which sounds cool on the outset before you realize it has the exact same problem as rhythm jump, that being coins are useless due to purple coins existing now. The only reason this badge is above rhythm jump is because it's less inconvenient to use. That's it. The add exclamation mark blocks badge is a really interesting one. It adds exclamation mark blocks around the level that wouldn't usually be there if you had the badge off. Some of them give you coins, some of them give you flower coins, and others can sometimes give you power-ups too. But once you realize that these things are basically just glorified hidden question mark blocks, it really becomes less cool. I don't really have much else to say about this one, I never really used it in the game, so let's move on. The coin magnet badge, what else, magnetizes coins to you when you get close enough to them, not including the 10 flower coins. You may think that sounds extremely useless and should probably be near the bottom with rhythm jump and coin reward, but the thing that makes this better than the both of them is that it also magnetizes purple coins, you know, something that has purpose. And that one detail is able to push it above coin reward and rhythm jump. So let's move on to the next badge. When this game first came out, I didn't really like the timed high jump badge because it just reminded me of the triple jump from New Super Mario Bros, which is no longer in this game. But after using this badge in more post-game content, I can officially say that this is a really good badge. The way this badge works is if you time your jumps as you hit the ground, you'll get a higher jump. What's cooler is that if you keep pressing the jump button as you hit the ground, you'll be able to string a bunch of jumps together. It reminds me a lot of Spring Feet, but you're actually able to control when it happens. And it would help you reach items that your normal jump could never do on its own. Nothing much else to add about this badge, just a solid pick. On to the next one. Our next badge is the Sound Off badge, and it's funny. The floating high jump badge works exactly like it did in New Super Luigi U. If you hold down the jump button, not only will your jump go much higher, but it'll also suspend you in the air for a little bit. And the badge can be used to find a lot of secret areas too. Even though I didn't use this badge on my initial playthrough, getting footage for this video while using it was a lot of fun. And I don't really have much else to say about it, it's just a pretty nice badge to have. Moving on to the next one. The boosting spin jump badge turns your mid-air spin into a pseudo double jump. Usually when you spin in the air you just get more hang time, but with this badge you're able to do a double jump mid-air. I saw a lot of other YouTubers rank this as their #1 badge, but not me. I don't know what it is about this badge, it's just something about it that I don't really like all too much. Now don't get me wrong, this badge is great, but it's not my favorite, and that's kind of all I have to say about it, nothing else to add. I already know that you're all confused as to why I decided to cobble 10 through 7 together, but that's because these 4 badges do basically exactly the same thing. They give you one specific power up no matter what you pick up depending on what's labeled on the badge. And since they all basically do the same thing, I decided to rank all of them together. So I'll just quickly run through them. Drill, Elephant, Fire, Bubble. I guess you could also consider this as my power up ranking video since I don't plan on making one in the future, but that's all I have to say. The wall climb jump badge is an extremely useful platforming tool which allows you to wall jump against a wall twice. What do I mean by this? Well, usually when you wall jump, your character will repel themselves against it, meaning that they can't get any more height off that wall. But the wall climb jump badge lets you jump against the wall twice, and you can also use it to complete secret areas in unintentional ways the developers probably didn't expect you to. And it's also not as situational as something like the grappling vine badge, because it can also be used in horizontal levels to get over a wall that's just a little too high for your character to jump over. At the end of the day, it's an alright badge, but it's nothing spectacular like the top 5. And speaking of the top 5, let's go on and move on to them. I understand that I'm breaking my own rules by allowing something as situational as the Jet Run badge to be in the top 5, but I don't care. The Jet Run badge forces you to run at top speed with the inability to stop yourself. And if you run off a ledge, you actually have a little bit of time to jump, so you can make a lot of risky shortcuts out of it. Honestly, there isn't much to add here, but later on in the top 5 there's going to be another badge like it, but just a lot better. So let's move on. The Dolphin Kick badge is an underwater exclusive ability that allows you to perform a dash in any direction, and with the badge equipped you can actually use it to overpower Gust of Wind. Having the simple ability to swim better underwater makes you feel like you're not even playing a Mario game, and it feels nice to have. I would put this at #1, but I personally think that this badge should have been a part of the character's main moveset. Nothing much else to add here. It's just an extremely useful badge. Now let's move on to the final 3. The Fast Dash badge, Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful. Basically just apply everything I said about the Jet Run badge to this badge, except you can now stop whenever you want, and you don't get any airtime when you run off the side of a ledge. Also, on a completely unrelated note, the level that I went into to get footage for this badge was apparently the one that had the Wonder Effect where everything moves at 2 times speed. So throughout this entire Wonder Effect with the Fast Dash badge equipped, I was playing at 4 times speed, and I don't recommend you doing this at home, it'll give you a heart attack. The Parachute Cap badge is the very first badge you get in the game, and it's one of the most useful. If you press ZR mid-air, you'll pull out a giant cap that lets you glide forward. I know that I ranked simple badges really low on the list earlier, but that's because their simplicity wasn't useful enough. But the difference is with this badge, it can actually be used in more than just one way. You can use it to extend your jumps to have more airtime, and you can use it to infinitely climb up walls, which I don't think they meant to do. That's kind of all I have to say about this badge. I just like using it in regular levels, so let's move on to #1. Yes, I personally think that the Crouching High Jump badge is the best badge in this game. The way this badge works is if you hold down the crouch button for 1 or 2 seconds and then press the jump button, you'll launch yourself high up in the air. I think the reason this badge works so well is because they've done something like this in another Mario game, that being Mario Bros. 2 USA. But it's a million times better than that game because you don't just slowly ascend into the air as if you were doing a normal jump. You get launched into the air, which makes it 10 times faster and more convenient to pull off. And I think one of the coolest features about this badge is that you can use it to reach the top of the flagpole on its own. If you stand on the little brick pedestal that the flag is standing on, and then perform the crouching high jump, you'll reach the top of the flag with no problem. And not only is it good for horizontal levels, but it also makes vertical levels an absolute breeze. And those reasons are why I think that the crouching high jump is the best badge in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So this is the end of the video. I am so sorry that it took so long to make another video, but I promise I will try to upload more consistently now. I've already begun scripting on a new video, and I've got about 1/4 of the gameplay footage that I need. Also, I'm using a new microphone, so sorry if my audio sounds really weird. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. Since I didn't upload for 10 months, the YouTube algorithm probably isn't going to be the nicest to me, so I would really appreciate it if you liked the video. And on the topic of the new video, here's a small snippet to show you how much fun I'm having. $60.
We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu. That's right! We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu!